I've been asked to do a bit more detail on my video, so I thought before I go into the drawing of this one, I'd just go through what I'm using. So obviously here I've got my notepad, I've got this is just a piece of scrap paper which I just use to rest my hand on so I don't smudge any of the work that I've already done. Obviously over here I've got my pencil sharpener, and where I just sharpen all my stuff, I have to sharpen all my pencils. Fantastic thing this is. It's like just basically like a ball of plasticine, but it's actually an eraser, and I'll show you. So you see, you can actually, you can mold this, but if you want to do like really fine eraser work, you can just make a nice little point. And it takes a bit of getting used to, but it's a really good thing, a really good tool. It was very useful on the last drawing, and it's good for doing subtle shading as well, and you can mold it to make shapes as well. So fantastic thing that is. Normal eraser there, obviously paper tape for my surround. On this one I've got a Tech pencil. I've got quite a few Tech pencils. This is a 0.5 because there's a lot of very, very fine work to do in this one. I also sometimes use this just to quickly sketch out the drawing, because obviously when you do your initial sketch, you want it dark enough that you can see if you've made any errors or you want to alter things, but at the same time you want it light enough that when you rub it out it doesn't leave too much of a trace behind. Series of pencils here, so I've got 4H, which is what I use to do my main sketch, and then I'm using a 2B, a 5B, I've got an 8B and a 9B here for this one because there's a lot of dark work. Scratch pad here, basically sandpaper, which you use for all your eraser pencils and your blending sticks. So we've got the Precision eraser here, which you just click this end and then the eraser comes out, which is good for using the edge for doing fine lines and things like that. Also good for doing some pinpoint highlights. Then there's the eraser pencil, which has a nifty little brush on the end, and used up half of this on the previous drawing. Again, this is good because then get a nice sharp point, but as soon as you use this end gets blackened with the pencil, so you're constantly having to clean it either on the scratch pad or using the pencil sharpener. So you do get through these very, very, very quickly, but they are good. They're very good for blending as well. Talking of blending, I've got a series of blending sticks here. I've got the two that I use, I've been using since the start, and I've got also over there, I've got a much finer one because there's some very, very fine work on this one. So I've got a very, very fine one on here. And then I've got my white Jelly Roll pen just in case I want any highlights, and the same here with basically the white marker pencil as well, just in case I need them. I try to use these as little as possible, but they are sometimes useful. And then I've got the electric eraser here, which again is good for doing very, very, very sharp highlights on, but I'm not a massive fan of this. But anyway, there we go. So those are the tools which I'll be using for this next drawing, which is the Xenomorph. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it and see how this one goes. Okay, so I've got to be honest from the outset here that I thought this would be a relatively straightforward drawing. I didn't think it would take me too long. It took me about 6 hours in the end, I think. I encountered the first issues I had with it is sort of the area I'm coming up to now, which is the dome, because obviously with a Xenomorph, the skull sits underneath the dome. The top of the dome is actually transparent. I do have a 3rd scale Alien Big Chap, which I got from Prime One Studios. If you go over to my other channel, which is Haunt of the Collector, there's actually a couple of videos on that piece where you can see. So here you can see anyway that I was struggling with it, and in the end I had to leave the drawing and come back to it the next day. This is actually the next day now, and I managed to correct it then and get it right. And because this was so dark as well, there was a lot of work with the 9B on this. I think my 9B has almost seen its last drawing. A lot of work going over and over. The pliable eraser, the plasticine eraser, was absolutely fantastic though for getting that light into dark shade and giving the impression of light hitting a dark dome. It was very, very good for that. But again, a lot of this was going back over it with the blending pencils, and then coming back with the eraser, and then touching up with the Tech pencil or with a sharpened 9B pencil afterwards. There's a lot of complexity there around the mouth parts with the jaw and everything else. A lot of that I did with the Tech pencil or with the sharpened 9B, constantly sharpening the 9B. And yeah, so that was quite difficult all around that head part there. So the rest of it I was sort of quite pleased. A lot of it was shrouded in darkness because obviously the biomechanical work was hidden, was shaded away. So the tail was actually not too difficult. I got into the swing of doing that quite quickly and getting the shade and the lighting on that quite quickly. And then once I got onto, as we're looking at it, the right hand side here, this really was colouring and just highlighting in a couple of areas. Again, the pliable eraser here came into work and really did do a lovely job, and then just blending it in. And this is it really. Then I always just like to show removing the tape because I think it just reveals the drawing that little bit better. And certainly I love putting tape around my drawings now because it does give it that beautiful portrait look, and it does make the drawing look so much better. So there we have it. Anyway, guys, the Xenomorph. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Cheers.